In the previous video, we discussed CRISPR, a beginner's guide to what CRISPR actually is. Now in this video, we are going to look at CRISPR in a detailed manner, specifically its mechanism. The entire CRISPR process can be broadly divided into four major steps. First, we have the adaptation, where the system acquires a piece of viral DNA and stores it as a spacer. Then comes expression, where this stored information is transcribed and processed to produce the cRNA. Then the third step is surveillance, where the Cas-9 molecule, cRNA molecule and tracer RNA comes together to form the surveillance complex. And finally we have the interference, where this complex recognizes the matching viral DNA and Cas-9 cleaves the target. So these four steps, adaptation, expression, surveillance and interference, together make up the CRISPR-Cas9 mechanism. Now let's get to the actual mechanism. Here we see in this diagram we have a bacterial cell, and inside it we have a bacterial genome. Within this genome we have the CRISPR array, which consists of a leader sequence followed by alternating repeat and spacer sequences. Now, a bacteriophage or simply virus comes in and infects the bacterium. It injects its viral DNA into the bacterial cell as shown in the diagram. This viral DNA contains a PAM sequence next to protospacer, and this is what the CRISPR needs, a protospacer. For this we have the Cas1 and Cas2 complex inside the bacterium. We see the Cas1 and Cas2 recognize a suitable region of the invading DNA and acquire a protospacer. So here we have a protospacer acquisition. After that we see the Cas1-Cas2 complex then takes the protospacer and integrates this protospacer into the CRISPR array as shown in the animation. And here we can see this protospacer has been integrated at the leader proximal end, that's towards the 5' end. And once this viral sequence becomes part of the bacterial CRISPR array, we no longer call it a protospacer. It's now a new spacer. So that's the first stage, that's adaptation and spacer acquisition. Now let's take this CRISPR array containing the new spacer and see how it's expressed. During this expression step, that's the transcription step, the CRISPR array is transcribed into long RNA molecules called pre-cRNA. Since we are specifically discussing the type 2 CRISPR system that involves Cas9 system, this pre-cRNA is initially represented as a linear transcript containing alternating repeat and spacer sequences. And one thing to be noted here is that you may have seen the hairpin-like structures associated with CRISPR RNAs in some other CRISPR systems as shown in the diagram. But in case of type 2 CRISPR system, we do not have these hairpin-like structures. Now getting back to our mechanism. Here we are at the pre-cRNA molecule as shown in the diagram. After that, another molecule, that's tracer RNA, comes in and starts binding with the pre-cRNA as shown in the animation. The tracer RNA contains a region called anti-repeat region, which is complementary to the repeat sequences present on the pre-cRNA molecule. So the tracer RNA base pairs with the repeat regions of the pre-cRNA, forming a RNA duplex. Now comes the Cas9 molecule. The Cas9 binds directly to the pre-cRNA and tracer RNA duplex, stabilizing the complex. Once Cas9 is bound, the RNase molecule, that's RNase 3, comes into play along with other nucleases. RNase 3 recognizes the RNA duplex formed between the tracer RNA and repeat region of the pre-cRNA and cleaves the RNA. Through this processing, the long pre-cRNA molecule is divided into individual mature cRNAs, with each cRNA carrying a single spacer sequence. And importantly, the newly acquired spacer is also present in one of these mature cRNAs. So after processing, we now have the mature cRNA molecules associated with tracer RNA and Cas9. And this complex is now the surveillance complex. The tracer RNA, cRNA and Cas9 molecule bound together forms this surveillance complex. The cRNA provides the sequence-specific information, while the tracer RNA helps form and stabilize the complex with Cas9. So now the surveillance complex is ready, and this brings us to the fourth and final step, the interference. This is where the bacterium encounters the same virus again. The virus injects its DNA into the bacterial cell, and the Cas-9 surveillance complex begins searching this invading DNA. Cas-9 first looks for specific PAM sequence. Once Cas9 recognizes its target PAM sequence, the DNA around that region is unwound first, allowing the cRNA to test whether the nearby sequence is complementary to its guide sequence. If the sequence matches, the cRNA base pairs with the complementary strand of viral DNA. This leads to formation of an OR loop where the RNA is hybridized to one DNA strand while the other DNA strand is displaced. This RNA-DNA pairing triggers a conformational change in Cas9 molecule, activating its two nuclease domains. The first domain, that's HNH nuclease domain, cleaves the DNA strand complementary to the guide RNA, while the other nuclease domain, that's RUVC nuclease domain, cleaves the opposite non-target strand. We see together these two cuts generate a double-strand break in the viral DNA, and this disrupts the invading viral genome, helping the bacterium defend itself against the infection. So if we put the whole mechanism together, it becomes quite simple to follow. First, adaptation stores a piece of viral DNA. Then expression produces cRNA. Surveillance brings the cRNA, tracer RNA and Cas9 together. And finally, interference allows Cas9 to recognize and cleave the matching viral DNA. And this natural defense system in the bacteria is what scientists eventually learned to harness. By modifying the guide RNA, researchers can direct Cas9 molecule toward a specific DNA sequence of interest. And that's the basic idea behind CRISPR-Cas9 genome editing, using the targeting mechanism that bacteria naturally evolved for defense and adapting it as a tool to make precise changes to DNA. And that's what we will explore in the next video. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Do consider supporting my work on Patreon or YouTube and make sure to subscribe this channel. Thanks.